Dear students, see last time we discussed Newton's third law of motion, see the law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, we also saw about equilibrium of forces. Okay, now what is equilibrium of forces? With that if the body is subjected to number of forces but resultant of all these forces is zero, okay, then body is said to be in equilibrium under action of given forces. Okay. Now, if there are more than one force act on a body, if more than one force act on a body, see we can find out resultant by method discussed earlier. Now we have to proceed further. See, our next topic is frictional force. Okay, before that, see, initially in the beginning of the lesson we talked about, see, a push or a pull is a force. But in day-to-day life, we come across forces in a different ways. Okay, we come across force in a different ways. Now let us say, see, a stress is there, an object is tied like this. So what is the force in the strings or ropes? T1 and T2, this we call as a tension. Okay, tension is also one sort of force. Now see, a spring like object, suppose you pull, okay, and leave it. Okay, all of you going, many of you going in the gym may have a experience. So suppose you pull the spring like this and leave it. See, the force which come into action, which gets it back into the original shape, is a restoring force. Okay, so then now let us say in a vessel there is a vehicle, there is a water, sorry. Okay, now suppose I trace a stick inside this. Okay, see, the force of the due to inertia of the liquid also will oppose this external force. Okay, also you might have experienced, see, when a wooden block is placed in a water or in a liquid, see, it upward force act, that force is called buoyant force. So these are the various kind of the force we will come across, but right now we have to study very important force, that is a frictional force. Okay, now this is a very important topic for you. Okay, those going for the competitive exam, see, you should have a lot of practice for this. Okay, but here we have to see the basics of friction force. Now let us say block is on a surface. Now see, conventional part for this lesson, whenever there is a rough surface, it will be shown like this. Here it will be smooth surface. That is a general convention accepted here. Now see, the question is how the friction force is caused. Now see, the frictional force is caused because of the roughness of the surface in contact. Now suppose, see, a surface is there. Okay, a ball is allowed to roll like this. See, after covering some distance, it will stop. If you take a smooth surface like a glass, okay, for example, let us say for ground, on a horizontal ground, it will cover some distance, but if I take a smooth surface like glass, it will cover more distance, but ultimately it is going to stop. Why? Because the force of friction is there in a comparatively smoother surface like plywood or glass also. So basically the frictional force is caused because of the roughness of the surface in contact. Now let us say our ball is one surface and this is a second surface. See, the frictional force due to roughness of why? Because if I see a smoother surface like glass or a plywood or a formica, see there will be, if it is seen from the microscope, see there are some borders like this. This is called ridges and valleys. Okay, ridges and valleys. Now at microscopic level, it is found, it is like this. See, when a ball is allowed to fall, see it will stuck here. Okay, that is called cold welding in the language of physics. This is some interlocking. Remember, it has nothing to do with our welding, which of metals or something like this, but it is a common word. It is a word used in the terminology. So see what you have done, given the force, it will come out, then it will stuck again here, then also it comes out, but every time it comes out, see whatever energy supplied, part of the energy is used. So as it moves further, its energy will decrease and finally it will come to stop. So what we have observed, see motion is in this direction, but frictional force will act in the opposite direction. So the one important thing you have to keep in mind, see that frictional force is always in the opposite direction of the motion. See, the frictional force is always in opposite okay. Now see frictional force, how the frictional force is caused. See the frictional force is caused because of the roughness of the surface in contact. Secondly, the friction force is always in the opposite direction of the motion. Now see the frictional force prevent impending motion. See what is impending motion? Motion that may have occurred if frictional force was absent. Motion that may have occurred if the frictional force was not there or friction force is absent. We take a simple example. Let us say, see you are traveling in a train. Now this is your compartment. You are sitting here. See your bag is here. Okay. Now see the train moves in the right hand side direction. See between the base of the compartment, that is flooring of the compartment, and your bag. Okay. Now see the train moves in the right hand side direction, so naturally the floor also moves in this direction. If there is no sufficient friction, if there was no sufficient friction, so that there would be have a relative motion between the bag and the floor. Okay, and see this bag will collide on the back part of your compartment. Okay, that is the rear part of the compartment. But see the what we have observed, that bag doesn't move. Bag doesn't move. Now if the floor is moving in this direction, see that pull is because of the force of the engine of the train. Now if this pull was the only force, okay, then there would have some motion, but or that motion we call as an impending motion. But see, the bag doesn't move. Why? Because this frictional force between the bag and the surface or the flooring surface prevent the motion of the bag. So it has prevented, this frictional force has prevented the motion of the bag. Okay, that force is friction force that has prevented impending motion. Or what is impending motion? Motion that may have occurred if the friction force was not there or friction force was absent. So these are the basic things. First, the frictional force is caused because of the due to roughness of the surface in contact. Frictional force is always in opposite direction of the motion. Frictional force prevent impending motion. Okay. See, one more thing we will see that, see, the frictional force self okay, this we'll see later in detail, but right now this is the basics of the frictional force. See, the frictional force is caused because of the roughness of the surface in contact. Okay, the frictional force is always in the opposite direction of the motion. See, the frictional force prevent impending motion. Okay, there is a motion that may have occurred if the friction force was not there, and frictional force is a self-adjusting force. Okay, now see, we have to study three types of friction. Okay, first is a static friction, second is a kinetic friction, and third is a rolling friction. Okay, three types of friction we have to study. One is a static friction, second is a kinetic friction, third is a rolling friction. Now we start with the static friction. Okay, so these are frictional force act when the one surface rests on the other surface. Let us say a block is resting on a table or on a surface. Okay, now see, the block is resting on the surface. Okay, let us say initial position is like this. Okay, right now the block is stationary. Now we apply some external force. Okay, to move the block in this direction. Now, to measure the magnitude of the force, we can have some arrangement like a spring balance, which you studied in the earlier standard. Now it has some scales on that. See, all of you have seen that spring balance, બરાબર? કે પેલું આપણું સી ગેસનું બોટલ આપવાવાળું આવે છે ને, he carries with him, અથવા પસ્તીવાળો. Okay, so now this is our external force. See, initially the pointer was at 0. Initially the pointer was at 0. Now see, you are given some force. See, the pointer has moved to, let us say, 2. Okay, but the block doesn't move. So what we mean from this, initially force was 0, external force, friction force also was 0. Now see, when the external force is increased, the force of friction also has increased. Okay, now generally the friction force F is denoted as small f. Okay, now let us say the rough surface as I mentioned earlier. Okay, Now see the block doesn't move when the pointer reaches to 2. Again I give more external force, the pointer moves to, let us say, 4. Okay, pointer moves to 4. Okay, then also the block doesn't move. So what we see here, initially when the external force was 0, frictional force also was 0. Now when external force increases, the frictional force also increases. So there is some linear relation. Okay. Now here also I give more external force. Let us say the pointer moves to 6. Okay. Then also the block doesn't move. What do this suggest? That the frictional force also has increased. So with increase in external force, see the force of friction also has increased. So that's why, as I told, the frictional force is a self-adjusting force. Okay, frictional force is a self-adjusting force. Okay, these are all some basics. You do not need to draw the diagram in the exam, but this was just for your better understanding. Now, see here, static friction force. See the force, friction force acting between two surfaces when one surface, now first surface is this block and second surface is the table, okay, is resting on another surface. Okay, so frictional force acting between two surfaces when one surface is resting on the other surface is called the static friction force. Okay, now see, next is about the magnitude of the frictional force. Now see, when the block was resting on the surface, the block was not moving, mg balanced by n. Okay, now what is n? We call as a normal force. Okay, when as I told, the gravitational force also is a force. Okay, balanced by n is a normal force. Sometimes okay, it is denoted by n. Now, as I told, see, when external force is increased, the block doesn't move. When some more force is applied, the block doesn't move. But we require some minimum force to move the block on the surface. Okay? We require some minimum external force for which the block will start moving in the direction of external force. At that time, see, the frictional force between these two surfaces is called the maximum static friction force. See, remember, it is very important. See, the minimum external force for which the block will start moving in the direction of external force. See, the frictional force acting between two surfaces is called the maximum static friction force, that is denoted as Fs max. Okay, now see, the experiment shows that Fs max is proportional to n. What is n? See, that is a normal force we have discussed. So this Fs max, if I put some proportionality constant, mu s into n. What is mu s? is a coefficient of static friction. Okay, now see mu s is a coefficient of static friction. See, the value of mu s depend on the nature of the surface. Value of the coefficient of static friction depends on the nature of the surface. Now mu s is a constant depending on the nature of the surface in contact. Okay, you can see sometimes they ask like this, what is the unit and dimension of mu s? Okay, but it is a ratio. See, what we can say, mu s is Fs max upon n. This is also force, this is also force. Both have the same unit, so that will be cancelled. Okay, so it is a dimension, unitless quantity. So see, the maximum static friction force depends on the normal force n. See, we have put some constant. See, Fs max is proportional to n. We have put some constant mu s. Mu s is a coefficient of static friction. Okay. Now value of mu s depend on the nature of the surface and context. So this is about the static friction. See, Fs max, when the external force is less than Fs max, the block will not move. Okay? When external force is more than Fs max, then only the block will start moving in the direction of external force. So we can write that Fs less than mu s into n. Okay? So there is a condition, there is a law of static friction. So this is about the static friction. Now next is a kinetic friction. Next we have to see is the kinetic friction. See what we have seen, basic in the friction. See, the frictional force is caused because of the roughness of the surface in contact. See, the frictional force is act on always in the opposite direction of the motion. Okay, the frictional force act always in the opposite direction of the motion. See, the frictional force prevents impending motion, and the frictional force, see, the static friction force is a self-adjusting force. See, we have seen the static friction. See, the frictional force acting between two surfaces when the one surface rests on the other surface is called the static friction force. Now next we have to see about the kinetic friction. Now see, we come back to our initial diagram. Now this is our external force. And we talked that, see, the frictional force F, they act always in the opposite direction of the motion. Now once the external force has exceeded Fs max, see, the block will start moving in the direction of external force. But then also the frictional force will be there. Now see, there will be the relative motion between two surfaces, that is the block and the second surface table. Okay. So what is kinetic friction? Okay. The frictional force which opposes the relative motion between two surfaces is called kinetic friction. So we can write the frictional force which opposes relative motion between okay. Now see what happened. This is our external force. See, the motion is in this direction. Okay, and frictional force always in the opposite direction of the motion. Now see, you can have a, once the Fs max is reached, you can increase the value of the external force. Okay, so in that case, what will be the acceleration of the body? Okay, now see, A will be F external. Okay, now see, our frictional force exceeded the Fs max. M is the mass of the block. Okay, M is the mass of the block. Okay, now if this value is increasing, okay, then will be accelerated motion. Okay, so that will be the acceleration of the body. Okay, so this is about the kinetic friction. See, the frictional force which opposes the relative motion between two surfaces is called the kinetic friction. See, the laws of kinetic friction are similar to static friction, that is Fk into N. See what we have seen, the instead of earlier it was Fs, F is equal to Fs is equal to mu s into N. Now here for the kinetic friction, Fk is mu k into N. See what is mu k? Coefficient of now initially you supplied Fs max, the object will start moving. Now the object continues motion in the direction of external force, so the friction will have reduced. So naturally this mu k also will be mu s. See, the coefficient of static friction is larger than kinetic friction, or see, the coefficient of kinetic friction is less than coefficient of static friction. See, you have a experience that when you start a car, initially have some more force. Once the pull of the engine exceeded the maximum static friction force, see, the car moves because of the pull of the engine. There is a power developed by the engine, but we see the frictional between the tire of your vehicle or a car and the road is also necessary, okay, for the motion of a car. So that we'll discuss later on. The friction is an unnecessary element, okay, or you can remember, see, the motion of the vehicle on a road is due to because of the friction between the tire of the vehicle and the road. Now this is about the kinetic friction. See, we have seen that once the external force has exceeded Fs max, see, the body will start moving in the direction of external force. But again at that time also, see, the frictional force will be there, okay, that will oppose the motion between the two surfaces. But what we see, if you want to continue the motion, we by our suppose we are driving a two-wheeler, the power is produced by the engine. Car also, see, you are driving a bicycle, then also we give pedaling. That power comes from the muscle of the body, that is because of the muscular energy, okay. So, and at that time also the friction is there, that is between the tire of the vehicle and the road. So this is about the kinetic friction. See, we have studied two type of friction here today. See, the first is a static friction. See, the frictional force come into action when one surface rests on the other surface is called the static friction, and the second is a kinetic friction. See, there is a frictional force which opposes the relative motion between two surfaces called the kinetic friction. Now, see, one interesting thing we have to see here. See, here we saw that the block was on the horizontal surface. Now, what happens if the block is on an incline? Okay, Now here also the friction is there, but block doesn't move. Yeah. So see the equilibrium of the forces. See if the block doesn't move. See the system is in equilibrium. What is the meaning of equilibrium of a system? That we have seen. Resultant of all the forces is 0. Let us say theta is the angle or the incline. See the weight of the body is gravitational force always in this downward direction. Now what are the forces here? Okay, now see from the geometry of the figure, we can say this is 90 degree. This will be 90 minus theta. These two are complementary. This angle also will be theta. Okay, now we consider the equilibrium. Mg is the force, mg cos theta, and another component will be. Okay, now see the normal force N. Okay, normal force balance mg cos theta. See the weight component of the weight tries to bring the block in downward direction, but block doesn't move. So that should be a force which balances mg sin theta. See, that is our frictional force. As I told earlier, see the frictional force opposes the impending motion. So if this F friction force was not there, see mg sin theta would have bring the block downward direction. So we can say the force F is equal to mg sin theta. See the normal force N is equal to. See here, see recall our equation. F is equal to mu s into N. So F upon N is mu s. Okay. Now what happens if I take F upon N mg sin theta? Okay. Now F upon N is mu s. Why the block doesn't move? So this is the case of static friction, and F upon N is tan theta. So if I compare this, mu s is tan theta. See, there are many interesting things to be studied here also, but right now we'll stop here. Next time we'll start with a similar same topic, and we'll proceed again. Thank you.